Welcome to the PARAcast. I'm your host, Tomas the Boss Hernandez, joining you from the green chair that I don't own. Joining me tonight, he's done everything for the sport, but he won't do that for less than $5K and a hotel room. It's Robert Wyatt.
Hey, I'm a cheap date, but I ain't
pretty
that
cheap.
cheap.
Yeah, they're like practice score 3, and Robert's like 5K and a hotel room. That's the only thing I'm going to do for that. No.
I tell you what, practice
Hey,
score
Robert has to draw
2.0
the line somewhere,
still.
though.
I drew the line at practice score 2.0. I have never in my life ever seen like a company come out with like the next generation thing and have it be like demonstrably worse than the product it replaced.
New
Not
Coke.
just a little, not just a little bit. No, new Coke. Oh hell yeah, that's a good point.
It's
I mean, like,
practice score 2 is the new Coke.
yes,
Going back to practice
yes.
score 1.
Practice Score 2.0 on the iOS is literally new Coke. It's like, hey, how can we make this worse in every single way? Practice Score 2.0. That's what it is. It's just garbage. And people keep asking me, when are we going to go to Practice Score 2.0? And I'm like, I've got it at the indoor matches. And like, do you like it? And I'm like, hell no. It's shit. It doesn't do anything better than 1.0. In fact, it actually makes it worse. Well, how does it make it worse? You can't do the things you want to do. Do you want to sort? Do you want to sort stuff? Good luck trying. You can do a search and then sort that way, but it never sorts anything. Like, nothing about it is good. There's no value in it. I don't know why they did it. I don't know who they're trying to market it to, other than they're just trying to bring it all under 110. But it's the biggest pile of steaming shit I have seen in a release ever. And I like the guys at Practice Score. It's just
Robert,
fucking trash.
why don't you tell me how you really feel?
Well, I think there's a few small improvements that could be made to the Practice Score ecosystem, but generally, it's.
I want someone to dictate that, just find that out there, just exactly word for word what Robert said, put it on the iTunes store for practice score, and then still give it a 5-star review. I would like that. I love those reviews. It's a piece of shit.
Like,
never happened.
This isn't a 5-star review.
I bought it for my wife. She left me for her college sweetheart. Would not recommend for a friend. 5 stars. Like they forgot to like click the star thing to drag it down. It's like still 5 stars. Okay, cool. Anyways, and knock knock. It's your it's your unlicensed, uncoordinated, unrequested, top only male stripper, Kevin Isaac.
You don't know I'm unlicensed.
Wait. Is the top?
You don't know what I do on my free time.
The top's the only part that comes
has to
off.
Get their cut, so you gotta be licensed.
It has to be. That's the one thing with an unexpected stripper. Once you take off the pants, you're in a whole set of different ball game as far as the laws go. So top only.
Especially these years. I mean, because it could be balls or it could not be balls. You never know.
Pull back the gaffer's tape and find
you don't
out.
Have to take off the pants to find out.
Yeah, but unlike not another shooting show, we're not going to wax like adoringly about the co-host's balls. So let's just kind of keep that one on the above.
Why'd you even bring that up?
Because I'm still a little bit scarred by the fact that Andy spent like 15 minutes just like with his glowing review of Jeff's penis, and I'm just like, really? We're gonna go there? Yeah, apparently they did.
Well, let's not do it on this show. Anyways, if you want a glowing review of someone else's penis, this is not the show for you. We only talk about mine.
Join us next time.
Join us next time. Something that you should never, ever hold your penis up to. The Heckler & Koch Mark 23. This thing, like...
That's when somebody asks you, is that a gun in your pocket or is your penis? And it's like, it's my gun.
This is a Heckler & Koch P2000. This is my carry gun. I carry 13-shot 9mm carry guns, the size of a Glock 19. And then underneath it, right here,
one gun.
Holy jeez,
is the Mark 23. This thing.
Look at the size of that thing.
This thing is literally it. Like, I have two different feelings about it when I hold it. Like, when you have the frame, it's like there's not much in this frame, just some fire control parts or whatever. It's not super beefy. It's got a big old recoil lug. But you can tell where it's jetted out, where it widens right above the trigger guard, how beefed up it is. The slide inside is completely massive. It's just one gigantic chunk of steel. The sights are not dovetailed into the sights, into the slide. The slide is beefed up to the top, and then the sights are put on there. which is kind of like one of these funny things. It's like we're going to raise the slide up to put the sight inside the slide. So you don't have suppressor height sights. You literally have a slide that's meant to only work for a suppressor. The front's kind of utilitarian, like the front of the gun. It's just a slab cut of metal. They just slap.
It's got another tube that goes on there.
Because it has
to look at that.
It has another tube on it. It's got these pretty nice little white dot. Like it's what it is. You can't really change it. Yeah. And kind of runs. Actually,
this is why I like German engineering.
Directly milled in, like they're milled as part of the slide, or is it a separate piece still?
Do you want to see what's cool? Why no one else did this?
Are they screwed down on there?
It's screwed in. You unscrew it and take it out to adjust the height of the elevation that you want the point of impact to be. You imagine if you literally had like a tap in and then a flathead screw, or like a torque wrench to literally torque down the sight, how wonderful the world would be for install. And so you don't change the front sight out of the dovetail. You do all the adjustment on the set screw.
Like shim or
wow.
For it,
set screw.
Yeah, so you literally just take out the old sight and you find the appropriate height sight to make the adjustment that you want to do. So it's 6-inch barrel. It is if it's hammer down, you cannot apply the safety because it's in double action. If the hammer is back, then you can apply the ambi safety, right? And then the decocker is a separate, like a SIG decocker that sets it down. So it's just like it's cool.
Can you do that as a lefty? I mean, does it have the ambidextrous controls to do it?
So it has the magazine release and the safety on the other side.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not the decocker, because the decocker is an administrative action, right? It doesn't have the slide stop on the other side, like the later HKs. It's 6-inch barrel.
This is quality audio right here.
Yeah, I know, with its freaking O-ring barreled. Just this gigantic freaking port.
Tommy, what are on the top of the slide? There's two. I see two
roll pins.
Roll pins. What are those doing?
Those are holding in the extractor. I think it's the extractor, and it's both of them are extractor pins. The back of the extractor and stuff like that. So it's like, it is very simple. It's crazy overbuilt. The single action is completely smooth, just super wide face, curved trigger. Brakes super soft. The double action is like 12 pounds, but you cannot feel any creep or anything in it. It's just like this match trigger. The hammer is gigantic. Like I always thought it was like the same width as like a P2000 or a USP hammer. Nope. It's its own gigantic thick hammer.
Holy jeez.
And so when you actually take a P2000 hammer and hold it up, like there's the narrow little P2000 hammer that every other HK kind of would use, HK45 USP. And then you have the chonker, the thick boy. The entire back of it is rubber.
No light strikes with that?
No, I don't think you could light strike anything with this. It's just this crazy, super
nuts.
Big over-engineered pistol.
What's the weight on the single action? Do you know?
The single action is probably 5 or 6 pounds. It's not super light.
Okay.
It's smooth.
Wait, is there a hole in the front of the trigger guard?
Oh yeah, there's a hole in the front of the trigger guard that's threaded. So this was made before the 1913 rails. So HK started this at the beginning.
So it's got a rail.
It's got
a customized rail, dovetail, or whatever.
Yeah. So
and then you screw it in. Oh, okay.
And then you screw it in. So you would clamp on your LAM device, and then you would screw it in, and so that little laser aiming module would retain a 0. So you screw it into the front of the gun. And so, and then Glock had the 1913 or the universal rail or whatever, but they had a whole different system for it, and that's why USPs and Mark 23s do not have a 1913 rail. But it is.
What's the thread pitch on the barrel for the suppressor?
I'm not sure what the thread pitch is. I would have to sit there and look it up. I do know that it is a right-handed thread pitch, which kind of sucks because you'd want it left-handed so to counteract the rotation of the bullet as it comes down the barrel. So it kind of try to like tighten itself on. This one doesn't have that. The suppressor should be ready Monday or Tuesday for me to pick up and and thread on
That
this.
fast.
Yeah, like I
Damn.
I probably would have already had it if I just signed the paperwork just a little bit early. But it is a freaking gigantic handgun that is just it's just nuts. It's just the craziest over-engineered gigantic handgun, and there's not a whole lot of parts you can do with it, and there's not a lot that you kind of want to do with it. Like I would maybe want to have like a lighter mainspring or whatever than that, but besides that, like it's a gigantic 12-shot 45 caliber pistol, and the grip is actually not that bad. Like I have large size grips, but like I don't have any problem with trigger reach or anything else with it, and so it's super cool. It's a really
I
cool
dig
kind
it.
of yeah. It's Desert Eagle
You gonna shoot a
size.
match with it?
I would love to go out there and shoot probably the cop match with it. Maybe not a cop, but the cop match with it. Getting a holster, like there's 3 places that make a holster really for it. Um, they're all about $200, but Red Hill Tactical actually makes like a USPSA um, kind of holster system for it, which would be kind of cool. I'll need a few more magazines, but it's it's cool. Like it's going to have a little bit of muzzle pitch because it still is like a 38-ounce
Chunky
pistol.
boy.
It's not that heavy, but
Yeah, a lot of slide weight though, isn't it? Isn't it pretty heavy slide?
it is a heavy slide. The
Yeah.
slide is the thickest slide rails I have ever seen in my life. Like this thing
I
is
bet you that makes that gun recoil really nice.
well, and then it also has its freaking recoil reduction system. It's double springed
Oh yeah.
guide rod and everything. Like it is. I'll strip this off when you guys are talking, but it is like this thing. Like you would be like, I don't know if I could break this if I wanted to. And the fact that this shoots low pressure at 45 ACP and like 185 grain plus P or plus P plus, it'll do that pretty well. But like the idea that they sat there and said the government said we wanted to do all these things and last for these many rounds, and we want to be able to shoot 2 inches at 50 yards and be like a primary weapon. It's like, and they did it. And they came out with a gigantic handgun that can do everything except for be concealable and like easily pointable. But like
Yeah,
I had it.
that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, that wasn't on the list. So with the suppressor and being held up against like my MP5K, this thing is substantially. This thing's a big gun. Like the MP5K with the brace folded, like this is pretty much almost as long as the MP5K with the brace folded. The stock.
You need to
folded on
get one of those P365 Flux Raider setups and see.
Yeah, this is probably a bit bigger than it, and it's probably
longer.
but like mounting the suppressor to this thing, like this thing is going to be freaking gigantic. It is a primary weapon, and the kind of cool thing about this is like the idea behind this thing is like this thing was made to solve every pistol problem that they wanted to solve in Vietnam. They wanted a gun that could be used with a suppressor that they could use as a sentry buster that would shoot 45 instead of 9mm, that would work in any environment in any condition and just keep running forever and be safe and double action and single action and just be accurate all the livelong day and be indestructible. And so it's just I knew that it was not going to be like ergonomically my favorite pistol ever because you grab and you're just like, it's pretty front heavy, it's pretty big. The trigger's smooth, but it is very heavy. And it's like it's a 3-dot white sight pistol and the safety's not very great. So, and that's fine. I'll shoot in double action. I don't mind doing that. But as far as like quality and what it does, you're like, this is pretty cool. It's like this is the nightstand gun, and 12 shots of 45 ACP with the suppressor on the front of it will be pretty freaking cool. And so
I don't know that would necessarily fit in a nightstand. Maybe,
No,
maybe like an armoire or something.
no,
but-
like this is going to be a foot long, 14-inch, 15-inch long pistol with the suppressor, with the B&T suppressor on it. And when I went there to go pick it up on Monday of this week, the guy at the desk said, I was like, I'm picking up a gun. And he goes, is it something cool? And I said, it's a Mark 23 tan frame with a tan B&T suppressor with matching serial numbers. He goes, yep, that's really cool. Let me go grab that. And so I don't have the case downstairs, but it came in a like the steel HK from Germany case.
Oh, nice.
And so it's like a
Wow.
steel case with that locks. You open it up, and in the styrofoam, and you have your freaking gigantic Mark 23. And
Cool.
if I was recommending a HK pistol in what that's threaded and ready to shoot, just get a USB 45. It's much smaller. There's much more parts for it. You can do a whole lot more with it than you can with the Mark 23. But this is my solid snake dream gun, and it's really cool.
There
I
you go.
like it, and I want all my friends to shoot it. Like it's just a neat thing.
No,
All right.
That's cool.
that really does look
That's
good though, dude. I when you bought it, I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money for a gun. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, that's
I just think
arguably
that's
pretty
one of
damn
those ones
cool.
that probably will hold its value super well too. I mean, as long as you're not going to shoot it out, which I'm sure you're not, right?
No, like it's almost impossible to financially afford to shoot out a Mark 23. There's some of them that have like round counts of like 170,000 on them, and there's many of them that have gone like 90,000 rounds without a parts breakage, without replacing a part.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah, that'll
That's
hold up for a while.
yeah, and the fact that I got mine with the B&T suppressor with matching serial numbers,
That's cool.
like it's going to be cool. I'm going to thread tape the front of it, try to get that suppressor on as hard as I can, and then go out there and zero it with the suppressor on, and then just go and just kind of leave that as it is. So I haven't fired a round out of it. I was going to wait till I have the suppressor, and then spring break this week. So go pick up my son Mike, who just is like loves this thing, and he's not going to have
Cool.
the trigger reach to pull the double action or the strength, but in single action with the suppressor, I think he'll like it a lot.
That's fun.
So,
Nice.
anyways,
awesome.
Robert,
Oh man, I so we had it was the third Slipsa match of the month. It's the fifth. We kind of had a fifth Saturday, so they decided to throw in another match for it. And I took the Shadow 2 out, and I had a great time. I actually had to leave early. I didn't get to finish the match, but my match aside, we had a guy bring out a high point, the Yeet cannon, and proceeded to shoot the match with that. And I got a whole bunch of pictures of it. It was awesome. It was so much fun. And the gun is the gun, right? I mean, it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't.
no,
Fortunately, he's not left-handed.
this is the 10 millimeter.
No, no, no. It's just a 9.
Oh, it's
Just
just
a
okay.
9.
The Yeet cannon
Yeah.
9 mil. I thought that didn't they make a 10 millimeter Yeet cannon?
I
high
didn't
point?
know
I
that
don't know
they
if they
did.
actually have a yeet cannon. But I think they have a 10 millimeter, but
I know they
I
have a
don't know.
10, but I don't know if it's in the Yeet cannon configuration. But
Yeah.
it's so
That's
much fun.
I've kind of wanted to go shoot a match with one of those, right? But then I also don't want to like buy one and buy the mags that I need and stuff. It's like not that that
Bro,
would set you back a lot, right? But
I got 2.
Robert has
like,
two high points.
holsters and stuff, right? Like, look, I don't mind buying the gun, right? Because whatever, it's a gun. But then I gotta go spend the same amount on a freaking holster as the gun.
Well, he showed up with it. It was an Uncle Mike's, so you're definitely gonna go
10 bucks.
budget on
$10.
that bad boy. So it was great fun. I really enjoyed that. But I had to leave early. My brother we celebrated his 50th birthday, and so I had to take off a bit early. But it's kind of cool. So the other thing is Slipsa actually started. They said they're going to actually do a still challenge match on the first Saturday of the month. And for a lot of us, the biggest challenge, I mean, like, still challenge is what it is. It's not exciting. It's not exciting. It's just kind of a thing, but it's a great thing to do. But it's always been on Sunday, and I don't do stuff on Sundays unless I just really have to. But they decided to do this one, so I signed up. And the process of signing up, I was sitting there and I'm thinking, I wonder if Dakota would like to do this. And so I yell at him to get off the Xbox and come into the room. And he comes
And then
in,
he
he's
says, "Dad, for the 80th time, you cannot pause Fortnite."
like, yeah, that is that. Oh my God, that's the biggest pain in the butt with my kid with Dakota. I'm like, Dakota, you are not allowed to play any game that you can't pause. But no, that's not how this goes. Because he does the classic, just a moment, and then like
Yeah,
30
20
minutes later.
Yeah.
It's like you're not as sneaky as you think,
It's
kid.
like, listen, you little SOB. My parents didn't grow up with video games, and that would work on them. Guess what? You've seen my gamer score. I know what game can be paused and what can't be paused. Get over here. Like I run into that sometimes with like my kids, and I just like my son, he's playing the new Monster Hunter game, and I'm like Adam, and he paused the game, and I'm like, caught you. I just caught you. I know this game can be paused now. How dare you do this to me?
Uh-huh. No, yeah, it's funny. Like Dakota, he's so used to playing games, kind of like shotgun style, where he grabs a shotgun, and he just runs into the middle of and just melee and shotguns everything. And so I introduced him to Call of Duty, and he tried playing that. And after about an hour and a half of being extremely frustrated, why he just kept getting waxed every single. I'm like, hey, but maybe you have to be a little bit more tactical on that one. But no, so I called him in. I asked him if he wanted to maybe go try Steel Challenge, and he got pretty excited about that, which made me happy. So I've got that Smith and Wesson 1522 that I bought from
Yep.
Jared a while ago, and I think next Saturday. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna take him out. It'll be the first match he's ever shot, and maybe he likes it, maybe he doesn't. But he right now he was pretty excited to go give it a try, and
I might
so,
I might try to do that with Mike in the MP5. Like
yeah.
the one thing that Mike will do with the MP5K is be like, realize an hour in, this thing is really heavy down. It sure as cuss is, kid. It sure
Yeah.
is.
Well, and that's the thing with Dakota. I mean, it's weird because I mean, like the shooting is in our family. Shooting is my thing. Like my kids, they know about guns. They don't. I mean, I could leave guns lying around. They wouldn't care. It's not anything like that. It's my thing. And so like Andrew's like, oh yeah, Dakota actually likes shooting. I'm like, wait, what? Because I've never pursued it with any of the kids. It's my thing. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun.
Yep.
It'll be good.
That'd be a good intro tour. I had looked to sign up for that actually, but then I was late and everything was full.
Oh, just sign up.
On
Yeah.
the wait list.
No, no,
Yeah, I
no,
talked
no.
to my daughter because he wanted to go. No, I thought all the slots were full. That's why I was saying.
Yeah, but they'll open. I talked to Cap. If there's enough people, they'll open up another squad. Like
Oh,
they
okay.
actually. So I kind of talked to him a little bit today just about it, and he's like, we set up on Saturday, like at 8 o'clock, we start building everything because it's pretty straightforward, and we already know which stages we're going to build. It's all planned out. Like the orange flags are for the orange day, blue for the blue day, and these are the stages that you shoot for these days. And he's like, yeah, and we'll add a fifth if we have enough people.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, that could be cool. That could be fun.
Yeah, I'm same boat with you. I've always kind of wanted to go do it a little bit. Just take the kids, kind of not a full day thing, right? And so,
Yeah.
But it was always a Sunday, and just I don't know, it's a drive for me anyways a bit, right? And so it's like, well, on a Sunday, and got to skip church and everything. It's just I don't know,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense. But now that it's a
Yeah.
Saturday, I'll looking to hit it up. My daughter was super excited to go try and shoot it too. So
Well, the fun thing is, if you have that Ace VR, they have all those still challenge stages in there, and
Yeah.
that is surprisingly one of the really good Ace VR kind of things. I mean, it really I like still challenge in that game and in that game environment just for that reason. And so
Yep.
I showed Dakota how to log into it, and he'll play with it. It'll be with a pistol in this case, but he could at
Still,
least
the visions
like
like
yeah, and
Yep.
he can see the stages, see what they're looking like, and so who knows? It'll be fun.
Well, maybe I'll borrow Mike's Quest 2, and when they come out with a Mark 23 for Steel Challenge, I'll shoot that, and we'll see what happens.
I'm pretty darn certain that we could 3D print 23, and there you go.
I just want a Mark 23
printed
in the
PDP.
game. That's what I want. Anyways, here's your freaking gigantic,
Jeez.
massive slide.
chunk of steel.
Like, hold on.
Oh, so that reminded me. So when you're talking about that, have you ever seen the holy shit? That's
When
big. He's holding the slide up next to a Rockstar can. That's how big that thing is. Have you
what
seen
she said.
the Glock 40, right?
Yeah, the Glock 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that thing is just a chunky monkey, and the slide is so wide that it looks like you could park an airplane on it. But when Lex and I took it out the very first time we're shooting it, I kid you not, it shoots like a 40 Smith and Wesson. It doesn't feel like a 10 millimeter, even with the spicy stuff. it shoots incredibly nice. It's an enjoyable 10 millimeter shoot.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's a beefy guide thread system.
Wow. Oh my
yeah, it's a
gosh.
gigantic. It has that secondary spring and that piston system half a third
Yeah.
of the way up it, and then
Hmm.
it's recoil locking legs. Like it is.
So where do you get parts for these things
They don't
if you
break,
needed to?
remember?
Well, I
They
know, but in theory,
HK USA, they have their parts thing. Like that's the one thing that kind of like besides the magazine, HK parts are pretty damn affordable and they're cheap. Like I think Walther's the other way where the gun's cheap, but the parts when you go to like walther.com and try to search the parts, like the parts are a little bit more pricier than they would. But HK pistols are pretty cheap to sit there and service once you get the magazines in. I mean the
that's
magazine's
nice at least.
$65 for these things and like but like this thing like as far as parts go like these in the USP series like you're not doing a whole lot to these things are meant not to break like your firing pin like your extractor and then your firing pin retaining pins like these things are just gigantic and it's like all meant to be like in salt water for 4 days so it's kind of one of those things where you just
It's robust.
it's robust. It's literally the most over engineered pistol ever, and you got this freaking like I've never held like a 6-inch 1911 or had something like that, and then like you just hold this thing and then it's the chonkiest thing ever. It's just weird. Can't wait. It's just a clown show. That's all it is. It's just a clown show. It's just a gimmick. You just hold it up, show page. Well, that's a big gun. Like yeah, page, but it does all this thing. She's like, that's just it looks really big, and it's just like, okay, all right, it is, that's true.
Size is what matters.
So-
Tommy. That's why she picked you, right?
yeah, that's it. There's I don't know if I can get the lighting right with the freaking gigantic locking block
Yeah.
that's on
Oh my
there.
gosh.
It's just it's nuts. It's a nuts handgun.
Nice.
Kevin, what'd you do?
Let's see. So I shot a match in slips at what or no, in caps. The fourth Saturday, took my kids out there and shot. Actually, proud dad moment. So I knew what the stages were going to be. I knew what the classifier was. It was a turn and draw. I can't remember what the classifier was. You do a turn and draw to with hands above shoulders or wrist below belt, and then you two strings. For second string is facing downrange with opposite hand position, whatever. But so I had my practice turn and draw with my kids a little bit with dry fire, just tell them what to do, and they both shot a C-class classifier on us.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
right on.
Good job, right? And my daughter beat my son. He was a little sad about that. But so, speaking of my daughter, so I've been playing with the Ace VR a ton. Add that to my dry fire routine. So I do standard kind of fundamentals with the real gun, and then play that because it's fun. Don't have to set up stages and train vision. But there's a few steel challenge stages in there that are like hoser all steel things.
Yeah.
And so I'll go play those, and like I racked up some like top 20, top 10 scores in all the rankings and everything on there. So it's not bad scores. And I told my kids, if you can beat me, I'll give you $20. Right? If you can beat my score, I'll give you $20. Well, my daughter proceeds to go into this steel challenge one and beats me by like, I don't know, half a hit factor on this one. And I'm like, dang it.
Man, that was
There
that
you
was,
go.
that was some low hanging fruit I just put out there.
Except for it wasn't low hanging fruit, right? Like I've listened to her shoot it. I'm like, I can't keep that cadence. Like I just can't. My vision's not that like I can't
Yeah.
cadence that way. The way she was just that young, youthful energy, and it was cool to see.
Well,
Yeah.
Fundamentally, you know what this means, though, right? Those
She's
kids are
gonna
now
beat me.
banned from the Ace. They don't
No,
get
I
another-
told her, I says, I'll get you one more of those stand and shoots, but then you're gonna have to start doing movement ones. I'm not gonna give you $20 for all these stand and shoots.
Yeah.
I gotta have some advantage here. You got the youth on me, and I got the legs.
Well, that's the crazy thing is like the processing speed of like younger people. It's nuts. Like the only advantage, like you have your strength and your wits, as the dad, but like you're probably as far as like your nervous system being able to fire up appropriately to like maximum capacity, you're probably down like 5 or 6% compared to your kids.
Oh yeah.
Which is like when you watch like people who are like 17 play like world class level Call of Duty, you're like the cuss is happening. What? And you're just like it's like I can't think
Mhm.
that fast and react that fast to what like some of these people can do,
Yep.
and that's what you have.
Yep. So that's good. My daughter has expressed a lot of interest in shooting. So, and she's still choosing to shoot the Glock. Like I gave her the opportunity to shoot the DWX. She's like, I'm gonna keep the Glock, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's good.
Well, she
It'll be
shoots it
good for your
well.
fundamentals, right? Like it's
Yeah,
make sure you have dialed in fundamentals, and
Yeah.
she's all about it. So be keep practicing. Hopefully, I think we'll both be able to get both my kids classified prior to Area 1, so they're coming to shoot Area 1 with me. So hopefully, we'll see how they do there. And but it's fun to watch them shoot. But here's the plug for ACR. I'm not anything with them, but I see it's a great training tool, right? Like especially if like I already had a headset, right? So
yeah,
the money was less important for there. I mean, it's still expensive, I guess, a couple $100 for the handset and the subscription. But if you don't like dry fire because it's just boring, get this. It's not boring, right? Like there's still boring aspects of dry fire that like I still enjoy, nailing reloads. Like it's fun to me. But, not having to set up stages and can change vision and jump around, like that's cool. Like it just makes it easy.
yeah. I would so with the gun, and let's say you're really getting into it, and like you're spending a lot of time on the ACVR doing that. Is it something that you would like want to have the gun that actually would you want your USPSA gun to start matching the ACVR gun?
Yeah, it's helpful. I mean, so I can't remember what they call it. It's like their base handset that's close to the 320. I can't remember what they call it, but it's one of their base ones. That it actually indexed the same as my PDP, right? So I picked it up and
Yeah.
like I did a bunch. I think I shot probably 25,000 rounds in like 3 days in the game when I first got it,
Jeez.
and then I went back and pulled my PDP out and did draws, and the index was right there. So that was my biggest worry, is throwing off index. Um, I've since, like, I have a 3D printer. I found the files, so I actually printed a PDP, and so it's perfect now for that. The weight's still a little less, right, than a steel frame, but I think this one I literally just finished this today. So this is uh 2 pounds 6 ounces. So it's not steel frame weight, like full mag steel
Yeah.
frame weight, but it's
Why
close
don't you,
enough that it's
why don't
not
you
like
put weight into it?
this says tungsten and everything. Like I thought about doing tungsten buffer weights for AR-15s for a while. Thought about it.
Right.
I ordered prototypes for it, and so I had a bunch of them. They handily fit perfectly in the slide, and so this is full of tungsten. Like it's about as heavy as you can get one of these.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So but the steel frame, I think the steel frame with a mag and stuff, it's close to what, 45, 50 ounces almost, right? So it's a little bit off still, but it's not enough that it's crazy different, right?
Well,
If
well,
you've got a polymer gun, it'll be the same, right?
well. It's like the weight argument of when you would have a fully loaded magazine versus like you'd have a
Right.
fully loaded magazine in dry fire, and then I have a fully loaded magazine when I'm doing live fire or whatever. But a lot of us were just like 2 or 3 rounds in the top of the magazine, and the weight doesn't seem to really affect.
See, with the weight of that, it's enough that it doesn't bother me, right? Like I was
Yeah.
a little worried that it would be kind of too different, but it's enough that like the gun feels like a gun in your hand, and so that it's a powerful training tool, right? Like
Yep.
Honestly, I
it's
think it's the index more than anything. I don't care about the weight so much. I mean, I have the staccato version because like when I picked that one.
Yep.
And but I also printed a CZ version that I could then put and what I cared about more than anything with the CZ was just putting my grips on it.
Yeah.
Because the particular grips that I have allows me to hold the gun in a certain way, and that's actually what I cared about.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so like I this is the stock grip, but I'm gonna put my palm swells on here, for my backup gun when I want to play around with it. And so like I 3D printed it and put brass inserts in it so I can change the threads pretty, screw on grips and stuff over and over. So it'll be good, but it's a fun little tool to train with.
Well, you guys almost convinced me. That's the one thing. I'll set
well,
the car on
we
cruise
almost
control,
did, but
the tractor on
you
cruise
had that
control.
Mark 23.
I know. I just, and the nice thing in Moisha was very kind to say I could not find a Mark 23 for less than $2,300 the other day, and it's just like, yep. And I got this thing for 17, 2,500 with the suppressor. Now, tax stamp and all that jazz, it's touching $3,000. So it's
Right.
not the cheapest thing ever, but I will not ever have to buy another Mark 23 again, and I'm super ecstatic about it. I couldn't
Cool.
be more happy. Now all I need is all the 45 ammunition in the world, and apparently it's expensive.
Go figure.
You know, the funny thing about that is like I don't think I'm actually going to ever have to buy any more 45 ammunition, like the bullets themselves. I have so much of that just like sitting in boxes ready to be loaded, just because I for a long time I just kept buying it when it was cheap, and so like I'm happy because I actually think I'll probably have enough to load for my life, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how much that stuff costs these days.
Gunnies wanted $289 for 500 rounds
Loaded?
loaded.
Ooh, oh, that just hurts.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right. Loading it's going to be cheaper or whatever to do it, but I just I don't have any division where I could probably maybe squeeze this thing into L10 nowadays. Like go shoot a Mark 23 in L10. It's just like, well, there's the one of you, and so that could be
You
fun
win.
every once. You win. It would be interesting to and this is what I never got about USPSA and single stack. Like if it's the same caliber pistol and it's like a double action handgun and you put 8 rounds into the gun, like why not let them
Why
shoot?
not single stack?
Why not let them shoot in single stack? Like it's not have it. It's not like I'm trying to squeeze 12 rounds. Like I'll download it to 8 and I'll shoot this gun in there, and technically it should be a disadvantage because of the trigger and because it's lighter. But
I have a feeling that the stack boys are just guarding their territory more than anything.
yeah, I'd love
mean-
to shoot a SIG P220 in stack. Like, hey, it's a single stack 45. It just has a double action and it's aluminum framed. Let me.
Well, that's
in.
why I liked IDPA's way of looking at it with CDP. You know,
Yeah.
it's the 45. It's the 45 division. Shoot whatever you want. It just has to be a 45.
Yep, 45
I-
fit in the box.
Yeah, it was
Jam of the
great.
weight.
It was awesome that way.
Yep, absolutely. Well, if you want your gun to fit in a box but have the weight of 2 guns at once, head on over to W74 Guide Rods. Kevin will thicken that thing up no matter tungsten batteries he's
Some
holding up.
batteries.
You want 2 CR123s that'll produce Firefly type of light output from your
Candela.
Surefire, but you put out 8 Candela, but yeah.
That's the test. They passed the test.
How many ounces are we adding with 2 batteries, Kevin?
6.
6 ounces. 6 ounces is what you're getting in that thing. Almost half a pound. So you can do that. You can get guide rods. You can do all sorts of things to your gun. Get the weight up and balance it out the way that you want. W74, use promo code PARA10 and save 10% off your offer. You can go to Dominate Defense, get the best competition gear in the industry, the Mach 1 speed belts, the concealment belts, the duty belts, and American Operator gear. Check them out. Use the same promo code PARA10, save 10% off your order. And Rune Tactical, get more bullets in that magazine. No Mark 23 follower kits and spring kits yet, but we're going to work on it for the 3 of you. Check them out. Use the same promo code PARA10, save 10% off your order. Also, Telegram, it's a messaging app. You can ask us questions there. We're there. You search it, search PARAcast chat, it'll pop up, and you can ask us all the questions you want, and we'll do our best to answer them. Robert?
From Brenton, help. My wife left me after I accidentally sat on my P320 weird and blew my entire dick and balls off at Cracker Barrel. What do I do now?
You
Well, you
suit.
can join the Not Another
First,
Shooting Show.
You admit to being a liar because Sig said you're a liar.
You're a liar. You're a liar. It was kind of interesting. I posted in the chat a week ago a guy who was literally taking punches and then setting the height of the slide over the P320 and then jolting it and then watching the firing pin fall forward.
Drop. Yeah, I
And
saw that.
this is when I first got my P320s and I was messing around with them. Every time that you would actually get to some sort of, I guess, sear engagement when you defeat the firing pin block, especially when the gun was empty, you would see the slide rise.
Slide raise up.
The
Yeah.
slide raises up.
Really?
Yes, you would do that, and when you had the gun loaded, it wouldn't do that because there would be enough tension on the magazine to push up against the feed pole, and so like that extra space would be taken out by the pressure of the bullets sitting at the top of the feed pole. But the United States Army had a problem where at the beginning with their M17s they would shoot and the feed pole wasn't tensioned enough or there was enough slack in that system that it would eject the spent case. The round in the top of the magazine would come flying out, and then it would load the next round. So you got a 2-round burst with only one of the bullets going down for effect. And so like this is a kind of a common issue that happens on some pistols, so much so that like um, as the magazines narrows to the top of the feed, sometimes magazines will actually have some sort of like pinch or indentation to hold like the top, the case, the rim of the back case in the magazine. Because what can happen is as the feed pole goes across it and tries to strip up the round that's above it, it can sometimes push the round forward. So you're shooting in the middle of a string, you take out the magazine. Sometimes that top bullet is seated slightly forward. In some of these magazines, guns who have like incredible tension on that feed pole as they strip forward, single stack 45s and stuff like that, you'll see that like on factory SIG P220 mags, there's that little machine indentation to hold that top round of 45 because otherwise you cannot eject the magazine halfway through shooting it because the 45 round is so far forward. And so like, yeah, there's those issues with that P320, and like all of these people who are sitting there tinkering at the gun as more and more light comes to it are replicating what the problem is. And so what's very nice of SIG is to make some that are terrible and then also make some that are good. So you got to find out for yourself which ones are which. Because obviously they know how to tell which ones are which. It would be kind enough to let us know which ones are which, because it seems like newer ones, they've done a better job at fixing that. And
Right.
but like if you're literally looking at rounded surfaces that if the gun did not have so much play would not trip and fire, but because the gun does have so much play it does, like it's just it's a joke. It's a running joke. And like I'm not like, hey, we should boycott all these things ever, but like is the SIG product bad enough that we should literally be go like maybe I shouldn't be using other SIG products? Like it's kind of, we're kind of getting there at this point
Well,
because
my question, Tommy, is at what point does the government effectively sue SIG when, because in no world does it exist that normal people aren't going to sit there and say that there's problems with SIG. This is beyond just like internet lore. I mean, these are, I mean, demonstrated there's problems with SIG. And that means that the government has had problems with SIG. And so you would think at some point the government would be like, okay, guys, we have an issue, and now we want SIG gone, and we actually really don't like this gun anymore.
um that's kind of a hard thing to say, because one of the things that we've kind of learned over the past 4 or 5 years, ever since the whole COVID thing happened, is that the ability of regulators to be captured and prevent the coming forth of the judgment of God upon them has been delayed. And so, like, that's the one thing that you can have is as long as you have regulatory capture, you can prevent these kind of things from going away. And it does sound like, from like what people talk about on the internet, of how of demonstrated cases of SIG running into the law in places, that they have a knack for getting out of that kind of trouble. And so, like, I
These
think
aren't the droids you're looking for.
the Jedi mind trick.
What's that on the ground right there? Fat roll is cash?
Yeah,
Must be yours.
Like
These must not be the droids you're looking for.
the Jedi mind trick of waving money and strippers in front of people. It has a great effect at making problems go away. But I think it's going to be like everything else. Is like when you run into people who are not paid for, that actually have some sort of like control over the situation. Like if everyone,
This is why the
Do you
like
suppose-
nobody in the industry, nobody in the military complex or anything, like they, like when they leave service, they shouldn't be allowed to join any of these like SIG or any of these companies for like 10, 15 years. Because
Yeah.
it seems like they're just going just straight right into it. And it's like, that looks fishy.
I don't know. Do you suppose that if it was a different firearm platform, so say it was like the AR-15 that was having this, I think it would probably be a bigger problem. Just, I mean, realistically, what's the real use of a pistol in modern combat?
Well,
It-
it's bigger than that, because SIG's pushing that next generation
Sure,
rifle.
but the problem is that does that have the same problem? I don't think it does, right?
When
Like,
when rifles accidentally go off, people die. When pistols accidentally go off in holsters, like people can die, and I think one or two people actually have from it. But yeah, but like the thing about the handguns is like they're not anyone's primary weapon unless they are with just like military police and all that other stuff.
right,
And
Right, sure.
the other thing is too, it's like the amount of these things that probably haven't gone off in helicopters or in Humvees or something yet. Like if guns were going off and if they were being stowed in a like ready to go kind of fashion, and we had just kicked off the global war on terror, like did the Beretta go off
right.
anywhere? No. If we actually start seeing like things of like missions that are like being called off or turned away because someone accidentally got shot on the ride in or the ride out because their P320 decided like, oh, guess what? Sorry guys, I was manufactured in 2019. I can't help myself. That kind of stuff, like it would probably change. But like I think if everyone in like Gunville hit up Elon Musk on X and said the Doge team needs to look at this thing and all this problems, then we'd probably start seeing something change. And it should, like, hey, I'm perfectly willing to let Sig sit there and go like, hey, we'll make all the changes, we'll do whatever we can, or like, hey, we'll sell you back, we'll give you back all these P320s, you guys give us 226s, optics ready RXPs, and
Screw
we'll
that.
we'll
No,
go for
I
there
want
for
the,
there.
I want the 9A4 to be the gun.
The M9, yeah, well, like, but it only had like 35 years of like excellent service and safety, like.
The Beretta, I will go so far as to say I think the Beretta was the finest pistol the military ever fielded. I genuinely believe it's the best. Now there was problems with it, but those problems weren't Beretta.
Yeah,
They
those
were
pressure.
they were the armorers and all kinds of other shit that wasn't really a Beretta thing. Beretta actually came through and they said, "Hey, here's how to fix these things." And the Army's like, "No, we're just going to keep what we got." But the what was it? The A1 was the Marine Corps version, and that thing was flawless.
Yep.
I mean,
That
it was a fantastic firearm. I still think I genuinely believe that the Beretta was the best pistol the military. I mean, far and above the 1911.
no,
I think it was the best pistol ever.
the only problem that Beretta has is anyone who's serviced one for a long time is that bitch got too many parts. Like it's got problems. It does like
Sure.
it'll run broken, but like if you've ever detailed stripped a Beretta, you're just like, man, I love it. It's like I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. That's what you have to tell yourself while you're knocking out your 4-piece firing pin. Just be like, I love it, and trying to set the safety back into that thing is like, I love it. I love it. So like,
You're right, but that gun
it
did
works.
not need to be serviced a ton. I mean, it just kept chugging along.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
there would be an argument that something like a Glock would probably hold up longer because like aluminum
if
frame handguns, like if any gun's going to snap on you or have problems in the frame or crack or whatever, it's aluminum frame handguns. Steel handguns can have it, but the ability for polymer handguns to sit there and last literally forever as for like a service kind of situation, like when's the last time you saw a cracked frame on a Glock, a Walther PDP, or something else like
right.
you almost never see it happen. CZ's just like, all right, that's got a high round count, steel gun, like it's gonna get battered. But polymer frame
If
guns,
they
they last
if they
forever.
had gone if they'd gone to the Glock, I would still have been just equally as happy because that's a proven. I mean, that gun has
Yeah.
been around for so damn long, and it's just proven. It is proven reliable.
Yeah.
The 320, it came out, and it was the what was it basically was the Sig 250 or
Yep.
something like that, and it didn't work, and Sig paid off a shitload of generals to win their little
Allegedly.
military contract.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna say it's a fact.
In his
I have
mind.
no evidence, but it was a fact.
um yeah, like it's just like it was a hodgepodge design. Like I remember talking to Massey Ube in like 2012, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Sig showed us something at the factory," and I was like, "Oh, what did they show you?" They showed us the striker version of the P250. Like it was going to be a P250S or whatever, but like Sig's going to phase out the
Right.
P250, and they did something like, "Hey, hell of a marketing, great ergonomics, you know, spongy trigger, but like I shot my M72 and was like, this thing seems to hit exactly where I want it to. It seems to be reliable. It seems to be work well, and it's like for the most part those things did. But like you can't have guns go off. You just cannot have guns like having a gun that completely goes off and then having a gun that's not drop safe. It's just like one. I'm not going to drop this, and I only have to drop it in a certain orientation for it to go off. This thing, I run, and the slide moves, and the striker falls, and the firing pin block doesn't catch it, and then it goes off.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
No thanks.
From my good buddy George, with the announcement of the ratification of the revamped classification system by USPSA, can we expect far fewer classifier reshoots, and will this have a potential dollar effect on the organization and/or clubs?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Like this might be a secret, unforeseen consequence of the new classifiers. Like
not to the organization, to the clubs, to the clubs. But not to the organization. Once you pay your entry fee, you can charge for classifier reshoots. But USPSA does not charge for those.
So they don't get
those reshoots.
They don't get the $3 from
anything.
They get nothing. No. So when you pay $5 to reshoot the classifier at SLPSA gets all of that. They keep all of that. And we always collected it because we thought that USPSA would take it, but in fact they don't. And so in the case of SLPSA, we have so many people shoot it, and say we have like 10 reshoots, that was like $50. So you're $100 versus, hell, let's just do the math real quick. 63 times 25. So SLPSA, if everybody pays $25 to get in, with 163 shooters, that's $4,000 a match. Yeah. $100 isn't going to. I'm not going to care one or the other. You know what I will care about though? For some reason, and I know why, but SLPSA decided that we're going to buy some tape to tape all of our targets. Never mind the fact that taping is dumb. They should be using pasters. That's beside the point. However,
I love the poor desert taping of it, because when you go anywhere else and they're using pasters, and then they come here and like, what's this shit? And it's like, hey, we're not babies. You understand? Grab your roll of tape and tape that up. You smaller pieces, that stuff's not free. I like just having it's like a piano. It's like, this is one of the premier clubs in all of USPSA. It's like, yes, it is. We basically hold a level 2 match every weekend. And they're just like, oh, fancy. And then you go there and it's just like a piano with a key out of tune. It's just like, what do you guys do? Use tape. Please put the tape on there.
All I'm saying is, if the Dutch in Sioux Falls can use pasters, the Mormons in Utah can use pasters as well. Just putting it out there. Anyway, but they bought this tape, and it's shit. I don't know where the hell it came from. It's the worst tape known to man. It does not stick at all. Literally, it doesn't stick. You put it on there, and then the next shooter comes through, and it blows it all off. It's just garbage. And that's one thing. But then the target is tan. The tape is this like mazy yellow.
Oh.
And it's like, hey, does anybody want to know where to aim? Just aim for the tape. And fortunately, it's going to blow the tape off, so all the holes will be exposed. So if you had a bad stage, it's all ace. It's the worst stuff.
He shot one shot per target. How are we giving him 2 alphas? I can't tell the difference. I get to save money and get a better score.
Oh my gosh, it's just so bad. And so like yesterday, so it was a couple weeks ago, Cloak and Dagger in their email list says, hey, we're going to be getting more tape in, pre-order now, so that when we come in, we can just have it all allotted and we'll get it sent out. And so I ordered 10 rolls. And so I think I've got like 18 rolls at this point, but I tried to get the club to do it, and they're like, well, no, because we just bought all this tape and it's going to last us till state. And Eric Sayo, God bless that man. He was on the same squad as Dan Ward, and they were using the tape, and everybody's like, yeah, this tape sucks. We hate it. And Eric made him use the Cloak and Dagger stuff. And halfway through the match, I get this message from Dan. Can you get a hold of Cloak and Dagger and see if we can get some tape and maybe if they'd want to sponsor the Utah State Championship? And I'm like, yes, I'd be very happy to do that. The worst tape I have ever seen in my entire life. Goodness gracious.
Next match we shoot together, bring me your roll. I'll buy it from you.
Okay.
What was George's actual question? What was it? Oh, classifiers.
It was about the classifiers.
Classifiers, yeah.
It'll reduce the number of reshoots for sure.
Well, it'll stop monetary.
Them. Yeah, I mean, basically, because there's somebody, if they don't want to drag their score down, they may get the same day average that could help some. So, but maybe
I don't think so. I mean, because the best you could ever do is go halvesies.
Halvesies, right?
It's just not. I don't know that I like them taking away all the classifiers because there's a chunk of those that I could shoot at the indoor match. There's some that obviously they just needed to go away, but it sucks. I mean, if you're in low round count states and things like that, some of those classifiers were all that you had, and indoor matches were even worse. Thankfully, they are working on indoor. Jake has been really good about kind of like looking for classifiers that are indoor friendly. That's absolutely what we need to do because I'm a firm believer that the future is indoor matches. Like if we want to see a lot of growth, like finding land is hard to do, but there's 1,000,001 indoor ranges if we can just convince them to let us use the facilities.
Yeah. That's the one problem that all indoor classifiers that you can put up are the ones that would be easier to shoot. But that's the nice thing because they're not going to get shot out really with the whole new system. So hopefully like that will do a lot of it. And as long as, the catastrophic failure of a firearm in the middle of a classifier now, like that's already...
If it's truly catastrophic though, it won't count. Right? Like
yep.
If it's truly catastrophic, but like that's the other part.
The zeros will wipe out.
The zeros will wipe out, but like you have a catastrophic malfunction, you would like to reshoot it. Like I understand having the catastrophic malfunction not counting for a stage.
Won't it zero out?
It'll zero out. Like that's fine, but like
and then just reshoot it because since it zeroes out, then you don't have same day average on it.
Yeah.
Or would you?
I think you would actually.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't looked that closely at it.
If that's the case, then I would take the zero and just leave. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like so as guys who compete 3 times a month, whatever. Like you guys do that and you go on. As somebody who doesn't compete as often has that and would just be like, I would like to shoot the classifier, and it's not like the same day average is gonna tank that thing with no exception for it. But of course, then if we allow that something in there, then, oh my gosh, my gun, it didn't go off, like whatever, the malfunction, you didn't see it, I had to clear it, like I need to reshoot. That kind of thing would be possibly happening.
I'm very, very happy to see what the classifier committee came up with. I really am. I think we all complained about how with the problems of the classification system and why it doesn't matter. And I think they did that nerdy data engineering stuff that only those weirdos in life can do, and they came up with an awesome system. And I'm excited for it. Yeah,
me too.
All right, last question from Eric Meelander. What are good indicators to know when it's time to up your match speed and tempo to increase one's hit factor? When Kevin starts beating you.
Don't ever, Kevin?
I think that's the wrong way to look at it, right? Like you shouldn't be upping your tempo. You should always be shooting as fast as you can see, right? If you just start throwing bullets out there, misses still count for 0 points, right? Or negative points, depending on what you're doing. So if you can't see what you're doing, it serves no purpose to speed up. You should always be shooting at the limit of your vision. So if your vision is weak, that means you need to train. You can't just change gears in a match like that.
Well, then why do you practice speed mode?
That's where you can, right? You push the envelope up in training, right?
Yep.
So in training, I definitely am shooting. This is one thing that ACR has been really great for me is I'll go whole ham on it, right? Like I'm seeing where my shots are going, not on the target or like in the D zone or something, right? That's how you're training your vision to keep up. But if you just decide in a match, you're like, I'm going full speed this time, that doesn't work out well. I've done that a lot on fixed time things, and I can shoot really fast and miss a lot.
Get that raw time champ though.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
Well, how about in the case where, especially nowadays, when you get your practice score update and you sit there and you say like, I'm 5 match points behind this person and this person shot this stage and this is the only like shot it clean, they shot it well, they shot clean. The only way I'm gonna be second or third, no matter how I shoot it. But if I shoot it like at the absolute peak of my ability and get somewhat lucky, then I could win the match. Then does the
Yeah,
answer
swing
stay
for
the
the
same?
fence. Hell yeah. I mean, no. If you're that close to winning, and it's the difference between like second and third, no, you swing for the fucking fence.
Yeah, so then it alters the process. But like here's the deal.
Kevin doesn't think so.
Well,
Well, it's just a super high risk reward, right? Like you're risking a
correct.
lot more than you're gaining.
Your risk. Well, there's not
If it's the
there
difference between second and third place or first,
or first.
Well,
or
no, if it's a difference between second and third place, it might be second and fifth.
Correct. But like, what if you have third or first, and if you fail, you're sixth.
this is such a unique, like very
Correct.
particular moment in time, right?
Like
This is why I never look at the practice score competitor or nothing like that.
Well,
That would just weird me out.
well, and this is
I
what tells you the value of it is like the danger of doing it is only worth doing it when the greatest prize is available to you. And that greatest prize cannot be so far out of reach that you do it. Like, we're talking like what you're possibly going to get out of it is maybe a 5% gain. And that gain has to be at like the last thing that you possibly going to do that you would
Yeah.
secure something or not secure something. We're talking
Only
like,
once in my career have I ever, and I'm not great. I'm not like a Kenny Terry or something like that, but only once have I ever been in a position where it came down to the last stage, and what happened on that stage would be the difference between winning or second. And in that case, the equation was shoot this clean. It wasn't about speed or
yeah,
anything like that. It was like shoot this clean in the way that you need, the way you would always shoot at the same speed and consistency, and you'll win.
shooting clean happens 11 times more than I have to all of a sudden become 2 levels higher than I actually am to win the match. And it's like the whole disregarding vision is like playing roulette when you're picking a number. Like, you're just like, okay, like there's a I don't know, maybe like an 11 or 15% chance that I am going to pull this off, and I'm willing to lose 2 extra places or 3 extra places in the match to try to do it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only
You
time
you,
that
you
really
could
comes
do
into
that
it.
risk reward analysis, and I maybe it makes sense. And there's a few people, right? Like I think Kenny Terry, and you know, is one who I I've seen him do stuff like that. But here's the thing, it's
I've also seen him crash.
yeah, but he had a very high success rate, but it wasn't because he was Kenny Terry. It was because he trained his ass off,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I
Like
agree.
if you're going in dry fire and you're pushing the limit of human function all the time, your chance of success is much higher. But also, your scores are going to be much higher such that it's not necessary to take the
Correct.
risk, right? And so, if you really feel like you need to improve that much and you're taking the risk, do it in all of your dry fire sessions when you dry fire every day, right? Then you have that opportunity to take it up a notch and still succeed because it is part of your training regimen. It's not as big of a risk, but still the risk is there. That's why Kenny didn't shoot that way all the time, right?
Yep. And the guys who do shoot that way all the time, and like they might shoot something like a local or something like that, and they're like, oh man, I'm fantastic. This is great. This is the way I'm going to shoot. And then they go to a major, and it's just like they're not as
You do it for
consistent.
20 stages.
Yeah, do it for
Yeah.
20 stages, and they're not coming out with anywhere. Like, I'm not great. Like, on my best day, I am a lukewarm master in iron sights. Like, that's the best my 42-year-old ass can squeeze out. Never mind. So anyway, Like but
through those torn Armanis.
you through the Armani's, just torn right up the freaking butt cheek because they're cheaply made and other pants are made better. But the one thing that has
But
kept
the lead doesn't say Armani.
yeah, the one thing that kind of keeps my name exactly where I want it to be over years is like consistency. I don't throw a lot of mics. I don't throw a lot of deltas. I have a good stage plan. I'll go up there. I'll shoot it smoothly. Is it going to be as fast as I want? No. But how often are the points not there? Very rarely are the points not there for me. And so like I can shoot to the vision, and that'll keep me there. And if I do that, like the amount of matches I've beat the people that I wanted to beat, it's not because my stage is like I'm normally like I was 12 seconds behind this guy. I was 13 seconds behind this guy. But what I did not decide to do was wing 3 targets in the arm and completely miss another target or hit a no shoot.
Right.
Like it's the
It's like
acquire
this. Your ability to acquire points will keep you relevant long after the foot speed
yeah.
has gone away.
Well, that's the one thing is like every time I collect an A, I collect 0.2 seconds of a point.
Yeah.
Like every time I collect, I collect 0.2 seconds. I shoot a Charlie, it's like, oh, I lost those 0.2 seconds. And then it's just like somebody shoots a Delta or a Mike, and it's just like, dude, they just lost 3 seconds to me or 4 seconds to me. And then it's just like, well, what do I have to do? I have to collect more alphas. And if I keep on collecting more alphas, the time balance goes to my side. But if you're going to go sit there and risk it, remember what you're risking. When you say I'm going to amp up my speed, you have to still collect the points, because if you do not collect the points while simultaneously amping up the speed, you are actually bleeding the time.
The old half the points and half the time.
Half the points and half the time is the same score, but you're not going to get twice as fast. That's the joke. That's the joke about that entire stage.
The only time it makes sense to do it is when you're doing it for the gram.
When you're doing it for the gram. The other, like when the hits don't count, feel free. But like the crazy thing is like what you actually think is faster is not that much faster. It's if I sit there and I go, Kevin, shoot this the way that you would shoot in a match. Kevin shoots in the match. I go, Kevin, ham out, baby. Get that thing going. And he like warms up and he does like a 0.6 draw and he starts spraying and he gets to the end. It's just like, all right, the first run was clean in 17.35 seconds. This one was a house of shitty fire in 15.9 seconds. That's the difference.
It blows me away, actually. It's really cool to shoot some of the drills in Ace because it gives you the hit factor instantly, right?
I was just gonna say that.
So,
yeah.
like, I was just shooting before this. They have it's like a Prairie Fire all steel stage, and I just was super focused on vision. It was just ding, 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 clean the whole way through. It didn't feel fast. Highest hit factor I've ever hit, right? Like it was fast. It was still fast, right? But it didn't feel like I wasn't like whipping the gun around. It was vision driven, right? Like that. And once you can do that, something like that back to back and see the results instantly, like a score, here's what I was doing differently. Like, is it beneficial to go ham? For me, I think it is, right? Because aggression is something I'm working on this season. But like in a match, drive by vision.
Yeah. Aggressively pursue the plan with as maximum amount of vision as you can possibly do.
Yep.
Like an aggressive plan is still better than a plan mediocrely executed. Like that's still good. But it's kind of like watching the Graffel School or like the CZ Academy. Efficiency is always more efficient than just plain speed, and that's why they call it efficiency. Like get to the next position and snipe it.
Yeah, that's why I like Matt Hopkins, for example, because he doesn't look like he's the fastest guy alive, but he is. I mean, next to the great one, I forgot his name. Latham. Next to Latham, he's arguably one of the most efficient shooters out there. Matt is just really, really efficient. He knows how as soon as he clears that barricade, he's shooting the gun, and I've always enjoyed watching him shoot because he's an efficient shooter.
Yep, it is such the speed thing can be a thing that you can try to, or like moving foot speed, or like trying to be faster at transitions or something like that. But it is a dangerous game the second that it leaves the realm of vision. It is It is a cruel mistress. Like sometimes, like you just like any one of us can hook up and point the gun, and sometimes look fantastic. And the amount of times that actually happens with score over the long period of time is non-existent.
Well, and a big
Well,
part of it is in training, right? Like you have to know what's an acceptable sight picture, right?
Yep.
Like if you're shooting a 2 yard target, how much sight do you need? Freaking none,
mhm.
right? Just point the gun at the target, right? That's alphas. But if it's 7 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, it's a little popper out there at 25 yards. How much vision do you need, right? Like
Yep.
you need a lot. And
Yeah.
so it all goes back to training. Unless you're training at the level you want to compete at, you're risking you have a huge risk at a match, right? Like trying to do something you're just not comfortable doing.
Yep. And like the old thing that would happen back in the day was steel. You'd put a bunch of small steel out there, and all the fast guys would like that were used to shooting on catching acceptable ish hits on big brown pieces of paper, and then all of a sudden they go to steel and it's just like, oh, four out of six plates. I gotta go back. I missed this popper. I did that. Like it's just the amazing amount of mini poppers that get missed off the draw or on the move or whatever in a match, and it's just like now we have declared war on this two mini poppers back here. And why have we declared war on these little third world countries of mini poppers? It's because we decided to shoot around them. And why did we decide to shoot around them? Well, there were six nice pieces of paper before that. And so it's like the ability to sit there and go buy like mini IPSC targets and put them up and then actually shoot for the like tops of those A zones or whatever like that. It's like it is the more visually demanding you are and the faster you try to pursue it, the better it's going to get for you in the sport, and you will be able to be consistent over the sport for a long period of time. And when people want to make the trade for speed, you say God bless, like go do it, because every time I sit there and I see a competitor and it's a delta or something like that, like do I feel bad for my friends when they're pissing, they're throwing their magazine out, they're ready to buy a new gun, a gun broker? Yes, I feel bad for them mostly, but I sit there and I look at that delta and I sit there and I said, come here, my 2.5 second pretty, come here. It's like, oh, that feels good. Oh, their raw time makes them feel so much better, but the points make us feel better, don't they? Points. And they say the points say yes, they do make us feel better. Like the more you love the game, the more you love points, and it's just like points. It's like, look at this big number. Points are fantastic. Speed has been
Well, I
pushed.
mean,
For the
that
game.
was Carry Optics Nationals. I mean, look at Eric Raffel. He figured out the exact amount of points he needed to win that game, and he won it.
Yeah.
And he won it demonstrably over was it Gino, who was just fast as frick. But Eric Raffel knew exactly what it took to win that thing, and that's how he won it, straight up.
Yeah,
Everybody talks about Sailor and stuff like that, and it's like no. Eric knew how to acquire the most points, and he absolutely won that match.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and literally with like I think something like a 3 or 4% time difference.
Yeah.
4% more. 4% more points beats 3% slower.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks
for an old guy. How old is he?
Old in his 40s.
Yeah, I mean he's not a young.
It's like 40, 45, something like that.
Yeah, that's the difference. The speed is not 20% of your score. If someone's beating you by 8% and you're just like, man, he's just so much better, why don't you look at the other part of the practice score equation? Then you'll be like,
did you give up?
Well, yeah. Well, why is Robbie so good even at this age that he's at? Because he's efficient and he acquires points.
Yep.
You still have to be fast. There's no doubt. You still have to have both.
Yeah.
It's the balance of speed and accuracy. That's the way the game goes. But the accuracy will last so much longer.
Well, and the other thing is like majors falling away. Like all the big divisions are minor divisions. And like maybe acquiring 9 points per target kind of meant something. It doesn't mean shit in minor.
Did you guys see the breakdown for Factory Gun Nationals?
No.
The majority of the shooters that are there are A class and above. So all the people that talked about how like that Nationals needs to be this elitist thing, well, you got your wish.
Yeah,
because that's really what it is. And right on. I mean, it Factory Gun Nationals will be interesting this year. It'll basically be kind of the here's who won if the talent didn't show up nationals, because Eric's not going to be there, and so that'll be kind of fun. But it's still pretty darn impressive to see so many A's and G's and M's that are shooting that match. There's a ton of A's in that match.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
120 A's. So 100 B's, 120 A's, 130 M's, 75 G's.
That's a knife fight. That's.
Hey, well, I don't know what was it last year. Like there was a lot of heavy talent last year too, right? Like,
oh yeah, it really was.
Yep.
I mean, it was nothing short of amazing. I wish Grafel, I wish he'd come back. And I'm
he
not
talked
gonna
about
lie.
coming back, but I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you guys came back and listened to another episode of this fine podcast. We thank you for doing it. Keep downloading, keep subscribing, keep doing all that stuff. Remember, there's a video version of most of the podcast up on YouTube. Just search PARAcast podcast or whatever the cuss is. You'll find it on there. You'll see the three handsome faces looking back at you. One of them with a gigantic handgun that makes everything else look small. Don't do that. Don't ever compare it.
Don't look down.
Don't. It's the freaking worst thing ever. Anyways, thanks for downloading all that stuff. For Robert Wyatt and Kevin Isaac, I'm Tom Nelson, bidding you peace, love, and souls. We depart into the open waters of the Sea of Life on the little tugboat we like to call the PARAcast.
Good night, everybody.
Toodles.